You know, there's reasons why I will never support a Matiang'i, because I know that guy will not hesitate to plow us down in the street, right?
Yes.
There's reasons.
But
There's a reason
he
why.
has reformed.
No, not possible to get an outsider to win the
Yep.
election
Yep.
in
Absolutely.
2027. Yeah,
Absolutely.
because it's a very short time. I think during the Gen Z revolt, you know, like I felt like there was a possibility that we could get an outsider. But I think with the way things have gone, I think that's not possible. The 2026 annual conference of the Kenyan Nurses Association of America, KNAA, is happening in Baltimore from September 17th through the 19th at the Sheraton Baltimore North Hotel in Towson, Maryland. Early registration is now open at $250 until July 1st. After that, it goes up to $300. Vendor and sponsorship opportunities are also available, but space is limited. Registration details are on your screen, and the links are pinned in the comments and description below. For inquiries, call 848-224-1201 or email info@kenyannursesUSA.org. That's info@kenyannursesUSA.org. The other thing that I also wish to advise the 625 movement is also to avoid absolutism. And absolutism is when we say it's either all or nothing. So we have a current state, and then there's a desired state that we want. So the thing is to figure out how to move from this current state to the desired state. There has to be small steps that are taken. So right now, because 2027 is in everyone's mind, I think because 625 has a lot of people who are deep thinkers, there has to be deep thought that's given, because it's a little over 1 year to the election. Mm-hmm. So I think it's fair to say that it's not possible to get an outsider to win the election in 2027.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it's a very short time. I think during the Gen Z revolt, like I felt like there was a possibility that we could get an outsider. But I think with the way things have gone, I think that's not possible. So now the question is, because that's where we are currently, I think 625 should think deeply out of the options that we currently have, as bad and as terrible as they are. Which one will get us a step closer to where we want to be 10
Ali, I
or
totally
15
agree
years
with
from
you.
now?
And this is me speaking as Luca, not as 625, because again, we need to have these conversations through our internal democratic process. But
Yes.
I do agree that we have to be, at best case scenario, because we care the material conditions of Kenyans, their livelihood, the things that affect them. We have to be, at the very worst scenario, harm reduction voters.
Yeah.
There's reasons why I will never support a Matiang'i, because I know that guy will not hesitate to plow us down in the street, right?
Yes.
There's reasons.
But
There's a reason
he
why.
has reformed.
No, that's okay.
Wewe ndo mnasema
That's
tukumbushe
okay.
watu na nyinyi ndo amnesia.
No, but it's a
fair.
dialogue.
That's
what
fair,
I'm saying
but
is
Matiang'i is not the only option.
no, right?
Right.
No, I'm saying that's just one example, right? That's just one example of harm reduction. I would say harm reduction is, I know this guy is corrupt, but I don't think he's as bloodthirsty as these other guys.
Yes.
So these are harm reduction conversations that we need to have.
Yes.
Because when you're even thinking about the long term, you have to clear the way for the future you imagine.
Yes.
And that doesn't happen if they're the most extremist, repressive governments that we have. So I think we will have those conversations, and part of why we're inviting those delegates to come and offer their visions is, I'm not saying that this is 625's official position, but I would be in favor of a version where they come compete for the 625's endorsement within the diaspora, right? Like, because they have said, if you have told us, if I get into government, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and so we say, if that is your platform, that's something we can organize a diaspora on.
Also
on your
remember,
behalf,
when they say I'm going to do this, this, and this, 625 also has to go to the background
The
and
history,
say,
right.
this is what they said.
Exactly.
But does it match with what
Exactly.
they did?
We'll pull the history from 19 whatever.
There
Huyu
was-
huyu atachoma.
There was,
Huyu
Achomeke.
huyu atachoma.
Achomeke.
you know,
Mm.
there's, you know, like the mosque where I normally go to pray my Friday prayers next to where I work, they did a very interesting thing. One of the things that, when issues are Gaza and, you know, Muslims in America, we've experienced all kinds of things so many years. So I think one of the issues that people complained about is that there were these absolutist positions that were being given in the mosque that you know, like, do not engage in the political process, or all these guys are the same. So over time, they listened to people and they were like, you know what, we cannot be telling people all these people are the same, yet decisions are being made that are affecting their lives day to day. So there was a very interesting pamphlet that they issued, I think it was a couple of weeks ago before the primaries. And they had, you know, like all the candidates.
Exactly. Yeah. Their
They had-
slate.
Yes,
Yeah.
they had the slate, all the candidates. Why, you know, like a particular candidate is being endorsed.
Right.
Very detailed reason.
Right.
You know, and they would say, you know, like there's no one amongst these candidates who is, you know, like who has supported our position, but this one is less harmful than this one
Right.
because of this and that. And then there were certain positions where they said, we're letting you make the choice because these two candidates are indistinguishable. And you know, I thought that was a very clean and smart idea because for a very long time, and they were giving there was a whole process. They showed the whole process by which some of the candidates agreed to come and talk to them. They did an analysis of their backgrounds and everything. So I thought, and they gave a very simple pamphlet, which if someone like my mom is going to vote, that becomes very
They
easy
see
for
the
her.
ballot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you see, I told you I work out with a lot of these candidates, and we have to go through literally dozens and dozens of these processes for interest groups, all
Yeah.
sorts of interest groups, whether it's religious, whether it's ethnic, whether it's, you know, environmental groups. They give you a questionnaire that you have to fill out.
Yes.
Or some of them they make you write a whole issue paper.
Yeah.
Right. But then some of them they make you do an interview on top of that.
Yeah.
And once you've done all of that, if you win their endorsement, a lot of them, you know, some of them, their endorsements are very valuable in Maryland. Like the teacher's endorsement, very valuable.
very
like,
high
you know,
value.
it's like, et cetera, et cetera. And once they do that, it's because certain groups, they know they will work, they will mobilize, or in return, they will knock doors for you. Democratic Socialists, this is how they built power within the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Is they showed up for candidates who are aligned with them
Yeah.
until eventually hao walikuwa wanaweza kujitokea, you know, like they built up power within the
built up
existing
power, yeah.
structure. So that format has to be part of that's not this official 625 position, but that's what I would advocate for within the organization, is that we need to be actively engaged within the process, even when we take the long view for what we want to see be happening.
And I think that will be very important because with all the work that has done, it will be important to give people direction. Because if there's no courage to do that and just say, you know, like we are just going to keep calling people, but we're not going to give people directions, then I think that's a point when people will also feel,
You see,
then what is the point of all this, Mika?
Luca, you see, me, I have one thing, and I've told these guys, and I've told them this is my strategy. And my strategy, as much as I hate to say it, but is a strategy that MAGA used and took over the Republican Party. Right? I'm telling all these young people, register, get voter registration.
Absolutely.
These existing parties, join those parties.
Flood them.
Join those parties and flip those parties from inside.
Oh, yes,
Right.
I remember you making
Right.
saying that.
And I think, listen, our members are invited to do that. They're part of whatever political organization, and 620 will, in the long term, I imagine, will have an influence on these existing political structures. The only thing we are saying is our job is to figure out towards what. What are you pushing them towards? It's not just, you can be anti-corruption, but how do you actually create a system that is resistant to corruption? We are just saying, alongside political engagement, You don't just push it. You have to push it towards something. What is that something? And these are young people having an intergenerational conversation, a historically informed conversation of what emancipated conversation, stepping out of our current political formulation and saying, if we could imagine a Kenya for that serves the interests of not these people who are in power, but of the people, what could it look like in totality? Those are the questions that 625 is investigating alongside.
Now, in addition to make a strategy, which I think is a valid strategy, but then again, I think also within the movement there's an issue with people who decide to join political parties. Yeah. So I think that in itself is something that needs to be sorted out.
Yeah.
But I think that's a strategy that can potentially work. I mean, my strategy is more of whatever you want to call it, whether you want to call it a political party or political vehicle. Study what the people who win elections do to win elections. Are they using money? Are they using, there's of course you have to make sure you focus on things that are legal. And of course, because you're now looking on the legal side, you will have to put in more effort because it's easier to use, like a boxing glove that iko na chuma ndani ndo muumize mtu. But if you're using a legal glove, you just have to train well enough to hit someone hard. So I think we have to figure out, all the way down from MCA all the way up to the presidency. And I think an MCA is a good lab to test out things whereby you figure out what is it that these MCAs who win, what exactly is it that they do? So if it's a lot of money that they get, how can we also, what are they using that money for?
Right.
Is it buying T-shirts?
Right.
Is it, giving out handouts? So try to figure that out.
Absolutely.
And then just build an army of volunteers. So let's say, for example, you need 200 T-shirts. You have volunteers who can produce the 200 T-shirts without necessarily using the money. So I think once we start looking at those variables, we at some point will start to be able to get good candidates in power. The problem with the good people, and I've always said this, is they think that their good message sells itself.
Absolutely.
Chema Chajiuza only works with Wahenga. When it comes to Kenyan politics, it's quite the opposite.
It's not even
brown
Kenya.
envelope
It's-
in
yes.
Akuza.
It's not even Kenya politics. It's all politics.
Absolutely.
It's
The thing about
politics across the
is-
board. It's
Absolutely.
politics
Yeah,
across the board.
politics is like seduction.
And a good
Right.
person who understood that, it is.
Politics is like
is.
seduction.
By the way, unajua, with, nowadays us guys are good people. But back in our youthful days, let me tell you, let me kind of say seduction. When you lie to a woman, you'll be able to get a lot of things that you're looking for. Whatever it is, whether it's friendship, whether it's...
Situationship.
Yeah.
Ship.
Lies.
Hizo.
Yes.
Toxic men we see.
Lies. No, we are just giving
Wewe
you the reality on the
mchomaji.
ground.
We will...
We are giving you, we are
Utaenda
giving
kwa
you tips
ukuta.
here.
Mtani
Let me
mute
tell you
my-
something.
Utaenda kwa ukuta.
We are
Will you
giving,
mute
you
my
know-
mic?
we are giving
Let me tell
you,
you.
we are giving you pointers here, Mika.
You know, if I come
talk.
and tell you,
Yeah.
if I come and tell you, this is
Yeah.
the thing.
Mm.
I'm thinking of a healthcare whereby
Yeah.
I want everybody to be taken care of, even the homeless. Wale
Exactly.
wenye wana makaratasi, nini. It doesn't look good. But then when I come and tell you, do you know why healthcare is expensive? It's because the politicians are being paid by this and they did. Who are you gonna believe? You're not gonna. I'm gonna tell you, if you vote for me, I will make sure nobody is stealing from the hospital, so the hospitals will charge less, and your healthcare is gonna be free. I've not improved. I've not given you a strategy of how I'm selling my healthcare. I've just given you a lie about how
Yes.
somebody
A
else
hook.
is benefiting it.
How I can
like a hook
resolve
for you.
a
So
so-called issue.
yeah. Now the thing is, most moral, let's say good, most moral people, right, can't lie to save their lives.
Yes.
And that is what makes them bad politicians. And the fact that they cannot rosen up their promises, which are good promises for people, they will not resonate to a normal human being who's been taught and programmed. Somebody said it's a software that was downloaded inside them to depend on hope. So if you can't sell the hope to them, you won't get them. Now that's the issue. The issue now is rebooting that system and changing that sort of software to start understanding a different language. Like what is happening in the real world right now. We are moving from compute language to LLMs.
All right.
So that's what we have to do to our people. Again, we have to reprogram them, but we also have to try to reprogram our morally upright people, not to lie, but to get to know how to sell that message properly.
There you go. There you go. Solid. And people we can learn from the good side, Obama, Mamdani. You see how Mamdani sold himself? Very simple messages. Like very simple messages. And he was like, for example, on the Israel issue, and that's when most people got to know Mamdani. The traditional position was, like you hug Israel, like you hug them to death and pretend how you love them.
Do you prostrate? Is it prostrate or what?
Yes.
Where you bow down?
Kiswahili
whatever
ni
it is.
Prostrate.
That one.
Kwa Kiswahili inaitwa kusujudu. Yeah.
Unasujudu.
Unawasujudia.
Israel.
Prostate.
Yes.
Yeah,
Ama
so
ni
yeah.
groveling.
Prostrate,
Yeah, yeah.
not prostate. Wewe.
Yeah, I know.
Hiyo
Huyu
ni
hapa.
kitu tofauti.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Prostrate, not prostate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wow. Tuendelee.
Yo. What you said.
So you see, he was very surgical in his message.
Yeah.
It was shocking, first of all.
Yes.
But then he clothed it in a way that he said, of course, I'm going to be going to meet the Jewish people. I'm going to go to their homes here in New York. I am going to go to their synagogues. Like I'm being voted for by the people of New York, not by the people of Israel.
Not Israel.
And that message resonated. So Mamdani is a good example. Obama. So I think those are the people that people need to study as far as marketing, like is concerned, in a way that you're not, blatantly lying like what Kina Trump and Ruto are doing, but you're clothing your message in a way that's digestible and that resonates.
Ali, I think that's a good example.
Actually, kuna hiyo solution.
I think that's
kuna hiyo solution.
Ngoja Luka malize
Listen,
alafu. Yeah.
I think that's a very good example that also illustrates what we're trying to do here, right? Because Mamdani was a DSA organizer for a long time before he ran for office.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he could run against a candidate who outspent him 12-1 in that race.
And he beat him.
It was because absolutely he had a good message that resonated.
Mm-hmm.
But he had an army of tens of thousands of volunteers who knocked hundreds of thousands of doors. And I can tell you firsthand, in democratic politics, usually when you have that, it's because you can pay for it. He didn't have the money to pay for that many volunteers. They showed up because DSA believed in what they were doing.
Yeah.
And it's because DSA has a firm ideology about what they're doing. Why they have a theory of change. Why should we support this person? It's someone who is going to support our agenda. If you don't get a candidate with a firm agenda, you will end up with an army of customers. The moment they are offered a better deal, they will take
out.
that.
Yeah.
So how do you create an army of true believers? You cannot do that. This is all I posit. You cannot do that without an ideology. You have to believe in what you're doing. And before you have to approach Kenyans with something that they can truly believe in.